Rodger Wyland back with you along with Brady Farkas. It is a Tuesday. It's Big Board Sports right here at 104.5. The team, Mets tonight at home against Miami. 7:10 first pitch, and Jose Reyes in the lineup. Tim Heiman joins us, broadcaster for the Binghamton Mets, because he's coming from AA, and he joins us here for a few minutes. Good morning, Tim. Rodger Wyland, Brady Farkas, how are you?
Roger, Brady, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm doing great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. What's your thoughts on Reyes? And you've seen him now. Is he ready? Is he ready to make the next jump here to join the Mets?
From what we saw when he was with us for the better part of probably a week and a half, he did make strides in his timing. I really don't think the challenge for him here at Binghamton was defensively. He's got the quickness where you can put him basically at any position, and he'd pick it up pretty quickly. I do think that the focus was on him getting his timing back at the plate, and I think he did that. He showed up after just 2 games in Brooklyn with basically 3 weeks on the shelf after getting released by the Rockies. I think he was a little over-anxious, maybe a little uneasy. The swing was pretty violent. But once he got the reps with the B-Mets, played here about 9 to 10 games, I think, when all was said and done, you really did see a little bit of a calmer approach. And I know the numbers weren't there. He hit under maybe 200 with us on his stint here at AA. But I do think that over time and over reps, he got his timing back. And at third base, he really did look fine. Made a couple of great plays, but certainly made all the routine plays. And I really did think that he'll fit in quite well up there.
Tim, what was the fan reaction? And we're trying to figure out what kind of reaction he's going to receive when he comes to the plate tonight. What was it like in Binghamton?
Mets fans hold a special place in their heart for him, and I understand how many were not thrilled with the Mets signing him. I can understand where people were coming from at that. When he was here with the B-Mets, he did get really nothing but love. I think we heard in Altoona, where he debuted when we were on the road last week, we heard some boos, understandable. When he came back to NYSEG Stadium, home ballpark for the B-Mets, you actually heard the Jose, Jose, Jose chant. So I think people will welcome him back with open arms. He is a man that is incredibly sorry for what he's done. He is taking steps to make sure that others learn from his mistakes. He actually, when we were went out of his way to address the Altoona Curve team. He actually approached their manager, former big leaguer Joey Cora, and really shared his story with the opposition, the Curve, to just share his story and explain to guys what can happen and how to prevent that. And I think he's a man that's done his penance and is ready to move on.
Does it seem genuine? And maybe you just answered it there, but does it seem genuine, or does it seem Major League Baseball ordered? This is how you appear to act to get back in good graces. Do you feel like it's genuine?
I don't know him personally. When he came up through the system, that was way before my time. From my perspective, I felt it was genuine. I really did. I think he knows what he did was terribly wrong, but I think he's hoping that not only to make himself a better person, but also have others who are coming up through respective minor league systems to learn from his mistakes. And I'm hoping that message gets across to the guys that see what he's done.
Tim, how did he look again at third base?
He looked great. He really did. He's got good quickness. There were actually a few situations where he had so much range early here at third base that he interfered with a few plays from our shortstop, Ahmed Rosario. It's actually a really interesting storyline. The week or so he was here, we've got Reyes, the former pride of the organization, the former teenager up in the big leagues from more than a decade ago. And now we've got another guy that was just recently a teenager, shortstop Ahmed Rosario, who's just 20, who basically idolized Reyes growing up in the Dominican. And now they're playing on they were at least playing on the same side of the infield with the B-Mets. But he really looked great. I think he settled in nicely. The Mets sent Edgardo Alfonso, of course, one of their all-time great third basemen, with him for about a week to just go over drills and have Reyes pick his brain. They worked really closely together, but his arm is fine. It's still terrific. He's got good range. He's got the great glove. I don't think that defensively he will be a weakness at third base.
Rosario was certainly a stud. That's a guy I saw play with the Brooklyn Cyclones 2 summers ago, and can certainly see why Mets fans are excited about him. What do you think the excitement level, production-wise, will be for Reyes? What can we expect? What's reasonable? He's no longer the batting champion that he was when he was with New York, 5-6 years ago. What do we think are reasonable expectations?
Yeah, it's true. He's not the human highlight reel that we saw when he came up, but he still brings a lot to the table. Look, he can still hit for power. He can still find the gaps. He might not be as fast as he was back when he was, a 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid just getting started in the big leagues, but he still has the speed. He actually legged out a drag bunt in his first couple of games with us. He was incorrectly called out. He actually sent out a screenshot of the play at first base on his Instagram. But look, he still has the speed. I think he'll do just fine defensively. And I know the numbers weren't good with the B-Mets, but I do think he still has something left in the tank. I know people throw the washed-up term, and then a lot of people are ready to write him off. But I do think he's got something left to prove, and I do think he's got something left in the tank.
Tim Heiman, broadcaster for the Binghamton Mets. We appreciate a few minutes here on Big Board Sports. Thank you, Tim.
Oh, thank you, guys. And if you could work in just a little something about my beloved RPI engineers, I would appreciate it.
Always. We always got love for the engineers, Coach Appert and company on the ice, Coach Stephan and crew on the field. We do what we can.
Thank you, Tim.